back to Mancinima. We are at the halfway point in the year already. Can you believe it? We are in July. We've had 6 months of movies just gone before us. We've got another 6 months to come in the future. You may remember back in, I think it was April, that I did my first quarter and my top 5 films of the first quarter. And obviously now we're at the halfway mark, it's time to reassess those and see what are my top 5 films of the first half of the year. Before we do that, let's go through that old routine. If you could please like this video, hitting the thumbs up button. It doesn't cost you a penny just to hit that button, that'd be great. Really just helps spread the word of the channel. Everybody that's been doing it so far, thank you very much. And especially that, you know, that one mystery person that doesn't know which way up the thumb goes, that tends to give it that way. It goes this way up, I tell you every time, but I know you can't really take it in. It's a bit of a riddler, isn't it, as to who that person might be, but never mind. Anyway, yeah, if you could like this video, that would be fantastic, thank you so much. If you could subscribe to the channel, there's loads of different videos on here, the film reviews, the conventions, the dinosaurs, other things coming up that I can't speak about just yet. And also if you hit the notification bell, you'll know when we've done it on one of these videos. Right, so what I'll say is before we go into the top 5 of this first half now of the year, I just want to go back and say that I'm not going to reassess each and every one of these films. I'm not going to go into in-depth as to why they're in my position. We've done reviews on most of these films, they're all over the channel. If you want to go back and read my in-depth review on each of the movies, that's great. All I'm going to do is give you my reasons why I've enjoyed those movies and why they are placed where they are in my top 5 currently. Okay, without further ado, let's first of all take a look back and see what my top 5 was at the first quarter of the year. So at number 5 we had Plane, the Gerard Butler starrer action film. At number 4 we had the movie 65, which was this sci-fi dinosaur movie starring Adam Driver. At number 3 we had Pearl, which was the sequel to X, which I really enjoyed. At number 2 was John Wick Chapter 4, which was a fantastic actioner, and at the number 1 spot was Scream 6. So let's now go into the top 5 of the first half of the year and see how things have changed. And so in the number 5 spot is Evil Dead Rise. Now this is, I don't know how you're going to count it. You're either counting it as Evil Dead 4 or you're counting it as Evil Dead 5 if you include the remake. However, it's the 5th movie in the Evil Dead franchise. I must admit I didn't really have high hopes for this one. There's no Bruce Campbell, Sam Raimi isn't directing it. It's set in a different locale from the woods. It's obviously not set back in time like Army of Darkness was. Didn't really know what to expect about this movie. I had kind of low expectations going in. But yeah, I thought it was a fantastic movie. I thought the cast did an absolutely fantastic job. Brilliant scares, brilliant gore that you expect from the Evil Dead franchise. And it refreshened the entire franchise overall. Where they're going to go from this, I don't know. I mean, if they're going to go from this, there hasn't been word on another Evil Dead movie as yet. But yeah, this one's a really good one. It's fantastic performances, like I say, completely different location, freshened things up a great deal. And I really enjoyed this movie, so it climbed really high in my estimation. So Evil Dead Rise is at the number 5 spot in my countdown. And so on to the number 4 spot, and it's another new entry, and it's Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, the last Guardians movie in the trilogy. The last Guardians movie to be directed by James Gunn, of course, the guy who shepherded the first 2 entries and did a fantastic job with those. So it's all kind of sad. It kind of is the end of that era, if you like. You know, James Gunn has now wandered off into DC territory and he's doing his new Superman Legacy movie. And yeah, this is the last one for the Guardians, or the Guardians as we know it. It's, yeah, fantastically entertaining. It's also a very somber movie. It explores Rocket's origins, the way that he was treated and the way that he was created as a baby, and where he is in the future. It's kind of sad to see them go because they're a fantastic team and James Gunn is a fantastic director. But I enjoyed this one. I thought it was a great movie. It's one of the better Marvel movies in recent years. Marvel has been on a bit of a downward slope with its previous entries, you know, like the Eternals and the last Thor movie. So this one kind of raised things back up again. So this was a great Marvel movie, the one that we needed to bring Marvel kind of back on track. I don't know that they're quite there yet, but yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, really did enjoy. Superb performances as always, superb direction as always, and it made the number 4 place in my top 5 movies. Now, dropping a place to number 3, sadly, is John Wick Chapter 4. John Wick Chapter 4 is a superb actioner. It just doesn't stop for breath. From the moment it opens, it's full-on action until the very end, and it's just an amazing sequel. It's incredible, beautifully shot, fantastic performance by Keanu Reeves as John Wick. And yeah, it's one of my favourite movies of the year, and I can't wait. I haven't bought it yet on disc, but I can't wait to buy it and have a look at it again. It just dropped a place because something else appeared very late in the day, and you're going to be kind of angry at me for the next entry, but we'll talk about that when we get there. But yeah, I love John Wick Chapter 4. It looks beautiful. It's a fantastic action movie, one of the best action movies, one of the best stunt sequences and effects sequences in the entire franchise. If you enjoy your John Wick movies, check out number 4, John Wick Chapter 4. Now that takes the number 3 spot in my top 5. Now we are at the number 2 spot in my top 5 of the first half of 2023, and this one's going to cause a little bit of controversy because I've only just released a review video within the last week, and I didn't give it a very favourable review. I have since seen the movie a couple more times, and although it's still not a perfect movie, I'll give you the reasons why this is the number 2 spot. Now, this movie is Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. As you may recall, last week I said the movie was disappointing. It didn't quite fit in with the previous Indiana Jones entries. So why is it riding at number 2 in my top 5 of 2023 thus far? Literally because it is an Indiana Jones movie. It is Harrison Ford, one of my favourite actors in, the entire world, back in a role that he made famous back in 1981, doing his thing again. Now, as I said, he's kind of an older version, but I've re-evaluated the movie since I've seen it. Yes, it's still, a little bit ropey in places. Yes, some of the story doesn't really hang together very well. But there's just nothing like seeing Harrison Ford in this role. He's older, cantankerous in this one. But once he puts on that fedora, that leather jacket, and gets the old whip out and starts beating the enemies and doing the fantastic stunt sequences, you just cannot beat. And I couldn't really, in all my heart, rank Indiana Jones any lower. But yeah, I've reevaluated it a little bit. I saw it a couple more times, and I thought the movie did kind of flow a bit better for me the second time around. On the couple of times I've seen it since, I have really enjoyed it. Not as much as the previous Indiana Jones entries, and I still don't think that it's as good as Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. I'm not saying it's the same. Kingdom of the Crystal Skull is a fantastic movie. It's not. It's one of the weakest ones in the franchise. Dial of Destiny, I don't enjoy it as much as Crystal Skull, but literally because it's missing that Spielberg touch. But that's not to say it's a terrible movie. I did say that right back at the beginning. I did say this is not a terrible movie. It's an enjoyable movie. It's just one of the weaker ones in the Indiana Jones franchise. That said, as I said before, Harrison Ford is back as one of my favourite heroes. He's one of my favourite actors of all time. And it's just nice to see the character back on the screen again after all of these years. It's been 15 years since Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. So yeah, that's why Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny ranks now at number 2 in my favourite movies of 2023. That, and if I overlook all of those flaws that have kind of niggled me about the film, it's still a bloody enjoyable film. It's really cinematic entertainment that we don't kind of get nowadays. The old school kind of action and stunt movie that we just don't get in the cinema nowadays. Everything's kind of too overglossed and too CGI, and I know there's a lot of CGI in this new movie, but it's the old school action that I miss, and just to see those kind of movies back on the big screen again is amazing, and I just really, I'd really love that. I think we should be doing more of the old school movie acting, and I wish Steven Spielberg would come back and be the Steven Spielberg that we had back around that era, back to the late 70s, early 80s kind of era. Anyway, enough waffling. It's at number 2. I've changed my mind a little bit. Like I said, I've re-evaluated it. I've enjoyed it a little bit more since the first time I saw it. That's Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. So what is at number 1 then in my top 5 of the first half of 2023? Well, it remains Scream 6. Scream 6 is still a fantastic sequel. It hasn't come out on disc yet. I wanted to re-evaluate it. I wanted to sit here and re-watch it and take it all in again. It's been a while since it was at the cinema. I think the movie opened back in March, so it's been a little while since it's been at the cinema, and I haven't been able to watch it again on any medium. It will be coming out on disc at the end of this month, or actually I think it might be in a couple of weeks' time. I'm not entirely sure on that, but it is coming out on disc very, very soon, so I'll be able to give it another look. But yeah, I enjoyed Scream 6. I thought it was a great kind of upward curve in the franchise. Scream 5 was okay, it kind of plateaued a little bit, although it had most of the main cast back. This tried something fresh, moved it to a new location. We got to know the characters from Scream a little bit better, understand them. You know, the core 4 was formed, and now we care for these characters and we care for where they're going in the future. But Scream 6, yeah, I enjoyed it. I still enjoy it from memory, from what obviously I haven't seen it again since. But I think it was an entertaining horror movie. It felt fresh to me, felt entertaining to me, same way that Evil Dead did. Yeah, Scream 6 is my #1 movie still of 2023. So for the next quarter, I've just chosen a handful of films that I think are going to make my top 5, and probably oust some of the ones that we've got in there for this quarter, and maybe from the beginning of the year. Right, so top of the list has got to be Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning, 7th entry in the Mission Impossible franchise. Every movie just seems to be getting better and better. The stunts get wilder and wilder, and Tom Cruise just gets older and older. But yeah, the movies have always been very, very entertaining. They are trying to top themselves each time around. Each stunt has been wilder than the last one. Each story has been wilder than the last one. But you know what? They've barely put a foot wrong, with the exception of Mission Impossible 2, which is probably the stinker of the franchise. But yeah, so very much looking forward to Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning, which opens in just a few weeks' time. And I'm sure that's going to make my top 5, unless it's an absolute stinker of a movie. I'm sure that's going to be in the top 5 of the next quarter. Also, something that may make the top 5 is Barbie, starring Margot Robbie, directed by Greta Gerwig. Now, this looks like a very bizarre, very weird kind of film. It's like a Barbie entering the real world, and there's loads of different Barbies, and there's a few different Kens. Of course, the main Ken's played by Ryan Gosling. I don't know anything about this movie. I've seen the trailers. They look entertaining. It looks like it might be a bit of fun. So who knows? You know, if it's a great film, or if it's a really funny film, a really entertaining film, maybe that'll make my top 5. We've also got Elemental coming up in, I think it's this week. Elemental, another new Disney Pixar movie. Now, Pixar movies haven't been faring so well recently. They've been going straight onto Disney Plus, but this one looks like it might actually be fun. The trailer looks really good, really entertaining, so I will give that a look, and we'll see whether that makes my top 5. Anyway, for the moment, that is that countdown. You know what to do. Please give this video the thumbs up, unless you're that person who likes to give it the thumbs down, but we don't talk about them, so please give this the thumbs up. Really appreciate it. Thank you for everybody who comments and who does that, and also subscribe to my channel. Thank you to all my new subscribers. Welcome to all my new subscribers. Thank you for tuning in. Yeah, if you are new to the channel and you haven't subscribed, doesn't cost a penny. Hit the subscribe button and you'll know when I've done new videos. Also hit the notification bell, and that'll give you an immediate alert when I've done another video. And as always, come and have a chat with me down in the comments. Always love to hear from you guys. Love kind of responding to you and having a chat with you. Thank you to everybody who's done that so far. And I will see you in the next one.